everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're excited to be here. My name is Jessica Vickery, and I'm a junior here at Notre Dame studying management consulting in Spanish. I'm originally from Kankakee, Illinois. That's where I call home. But here on campus, I'm in Ryan Hall. Go brag.
And hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight for our virtual rally. My name's Danny Miller. I'm currently a sophomore studying biochemistry here at Notre Dame on the pre-med track. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan, but I'm lucky enough to call the best home on campus, Pangborn Hall, my wonderful residence hall. And roll Royals. And tonight we want to welcome each of you to Notre Dame as you learn a little bit more about what makes Notre Dame so special. And as you're making the important decision which university that you'll attend next year, we know that many of you are not just looking for a place to be at for 4 years, but rather a place that you'll call home. A place where you'll grow academically, but also personally and spiritually. And I know Jessica and I have had a great experience calling Notre Dame our home, and we hope that you will too.
I can't help but agree. And tonight we're going to go into a lot of key places on campus that a lot of our students call very special places. And we'll be happy to answer any and all questions that you have between us and then a few friends that we have in the back. We're hoping to answer any questions that you throw into the chat. So with that, we're going to roll into our first video. So let's check out one of the most iconic places on campus, the main building, or as we call it, the Golden Dome. Let's check it out.
Hi Notre Dame Admissions, my name is Megan Northup and I'm a junior Notre Dame admissions intern. A little bit about me, I live in Pasquarella West Hall. I'm studying business analytics and French and I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky. And today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite places on campus, the Golden Dome. All right, now follow me. Oh, but watch out. Remember that on campus it's tradition to not walk up these steps until you graduate. So let's go in the right entrance. This right here is the second floor of the main building, and right here under the dome. It is home to one of Notre Dame's most coveted dorm traditions. At the end of every year, 3 dorms are awarded a dome dance, which symbolizes the impact that they've had on their community and their overall strength as a dorm. And this past year, I was vice president of my dorm, and we worked really, really hard and had this amazing year. And we ended up winning Women's Hall of the Year. So this past November, I spent the night dancing away with all my best friends. And it really reminds me of the legacy that Notre Dame has had on my life and that I hope to have on the Notre Dame community. The main building and the Notre Dame Golden Dome is such an amazing symbol of Father Soren's vision for the university and also the impact that every single student can have on this campus. And it makes me incredibly grateful to be a domer. The Golden Dome is one of the most amazing places on campus and one of the first things I saw as a freshman coming here. I am so inspired by the impact of the Golden Dome, and even on gloomy days like this, it's always shining. Thank you so much for joining me today, and go Irish.
I think she hit the nail on the head there with what makes Notre Dame so special. And one of the first things that we always think about with Notre Dame is usually the Golden Dome. When you drive up the main drive up towards the university, just a beautiful statue on top as well. It's such a great welcome to Notre Dame. And when we think about the main building, Jessica, do you have any favorite parts of the main building as well?
I mean, of course, I love the gilded Golden Dome. I mean, when I first came to campus, I remember hopping out of my parents' car and taking some quick pictures on my first visit. But I actually love the inside of the building. It's absolutely stunning. And in one of the rooms, there's NDI is there. It's like Notre Dame International. And this place is where you can really discern what type of study abroad you want to go on. I was fortunate enough to be able to go to study abroad in Santiago, Chile in last semester, actually. And I mean, there were so many people in that office that was able to help me a lot with just figuring out, do I want to go to a Spanish-speaking country? Do I want to go to London, to Rome? Like, there's so many different places that you can study abroad. And, I mean, it's really great to be able to have that sort of resource, to be able to really talk through all your options. I don't know, Danny, are you able to study abroad at all? Are you thinking about that? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I've actually been thinking about studying abroad next year in my junior year here on campus, spring semester.
Wow.
I'm hoping to go to Dublin and study at Trinity College Dublin and continue on my major to graduate in 4 years as well. And I'm currently working with the study abroad office to work through the process of how my classes will align, how transportation will work, and I'm super excited for that whole experience as well. But when I think of the Golden Dome as well, one of the key memories that I usually think of is I think back to when I did a tour with my family the first time. We were able to go around campus with a tour guide and see all these beautiful spots on campus, whether it was academic buildings or South Dining Hall, which looks like Hogwarts. It was really an incredible experience overall. But What I remember most is when we passed in front of the Golden Dome and looking up at this beautiful dome that's gilded in gold and thinking, I can't believe that I'm going to have the opportunity to spend the next 4 years of my life at this school. Do you have any other interesting memories of the Golden Dome as well?
Well, so when I actually first came to Notre Dame on my tour, it was during COVID, so there weren't many tour guides being led. But I actually knew a friend on campus who was able to really give me just a quick tour of campus inside the different academic buildings. But before that tour, my parents and I did a little bit of exploring on our own, and we went inside of the main building and got a little bit turned around. But there was a student there that really just stopped and talked to me for probably about 20 minutes about how amazing this school was. And I mean, it was unprompted. I was just like, hey, where's the way out? And she was like, are you a prospective student? Like, how do you feel about coming here? Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. And I mean, that really resonated with me when I first came on campus, that there was just so many amazing, wonderful people that were really just kind and welcoming.
I totally agree. I think you spoke super well about what it means to be a Notre Dame student, to be welcoming, to have this special spirit, to want to bring other people into this community. And I think when we think about different parts of Notre Dame, I think the Golden Dome is very important for our history and our traditions. But I think another important spot on campus is also Hesburgh Library.
Definitely.
Hesburgh Library is the key library here on campus, which kind of reminds us of our faith, football, and academics. And I know for both of us, I'm going to speak, but I think we've spent some very late nights there studying as well with academics.
I would say that is correct.
And I think to learn a little bit more about Hesburgh Library, we're going to watch a short video.
Hi everyone, my name is Savannah Carr. I am a senior studying computer science and digital marketing. Off campus, I live in Miami, Florida, and on campus, I live in Flaherty Hall. Today, I'm here to talk about the Hesburgh Library. It is the primary building of our school's library system. Here, we see the main symbol for the library, a mural called the Word of Life, or famously known as Touchdown Jesus. So the nickname Touchdown Jesus caught on once the 1964 football season started, with Eric Parsegian's first year as coach. Heisman John Hewitt throws touchdown passes to Jack Snow, and the mural was particularly visible the higher you were on the south portion of the stadium, perfectly positioned for cameras. The arms are also outstretched in the same position as a referee would be when they signal a touchdown, so it worked out perfectly. So next time you watch a Notre Dame game, make sure you note how long it takes before they show some or all of Touchdown Jesus. Below the mural is the reflecting pool. During game days, a big Notre Dame tradition is people running through the water, and it's so much fun to see. The building stands at 210 feet and spans over 440,000 square feet. There is a basement, 2 lower floors, a 13-story tower, and then a small penthouse on the top. You can often find me here at the Mac computers when I'm doing some studying and hanging out with friends. I can definitely speak for a lot of students when I say that we spend a lot of time in the library, but it's really, really great because there's so many awesome spots to be in, and you can hang out with friends, but also be focused and do your work. So really, really important to stay on top of your studies, and yeah, that's one of the reasons why I love Notre Dame so much. It was really great showing you guys this awesome space, but now I gotta get back to studying. So see you guys later, and go Irish.
Lots of great memories surrounding Hesburgh Library, whether it's late nights studying organic chemistry or meeting up with groups of friends to work on group projects. It's always a great place to study and to kind of have a core as our academic place here on campus. But outside of the library, the Hesburgh Library is also straight across from Notre Dame football stadium. And there's so many great traditions around Notre Dame football at this school. Jessica, do you have a favorite tradition with Notre Dame football?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually connected right to Hesburgh. When I'm not inside studying with my friends in the rental rooms to go and study, I mean, I'm outside during the game days where the band, which is my favorite group on campus. I personally am not musically inclined. However, our band here is one of the best marching bands in the world, I would say. But basically, one of the biggest game day traditions is that they have a procession right outside of Hesburgh. And on either sides are fans cheering, yelling, screaming, cheering them on as they march through playing their instruments. And I mean, it really is just a testament to show the community at Notre Dame, how connected we all are, all cheering on our collective marching band. And then obviously the football players that walk in behind them. It's a really electric time.
That's awesome. And I got to say, I think bouncing off that idea, talking about the community around those Notre Dame football games, one of my favorite aspects leading up to football season is actually something called the shirt here at Notre Dame. So every single season, what we'll do is a committee will come together of students and they'll design what the shirt will look like for that year. It'll have Notre Dame insignia on it. It'll choose a certain Notre Dame color. And what they'll do is they'll then produce this shirt and they'll sell it to all the students on campus. And what's really cool is once we go into that first football game, you look out around the stadium, you just see this sea of Notre Dame students all wearing the same shirt.
Yeah.
And it's this really great unifying feeling. And then after that, you see people doing the push-ups when we get touchdowns. It's really just such a great opportunity to engage in community through Notre Dame football as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that one of the awesome things about the shirt as well is actually the foundation, all the money goes back towards the students. So it's basically a fund that's meant for students who may be having difficulties or may need help with medical expenses. Like, the shirt is for the students. So it's amazing that we all band together as a community to buy these shirts, and it really shows our uniformity whenever we wear them to the first football game. Now, I don't know about you, but I usually go to all the first football games, all the football games. Are there any sort of differences with that with other students who choose to go? I don't know if you know anything about that.
Yeah, I think from my perspective so far is most students at Notre Dame, it's such a core aspect of what it means to be a student here. So most students usually go to football games as well. So at the beginning of every single school year, there will be an opportunity to purchase student tickets as well, which will allow students to buy them at a discounted rate as well. And if they have trouble maybe purchasing them, we also have our Office of Student Enrichment, which will support students in helping them either buy football tickets or helping them with something else on campus and get connected to. Have you been to almost every football game on campus since you've been here?
I definitely have. I mean, again, it's just a really great way to be able to connect with different people in your dorm, different people in clubs or classes that you meet. It really is a great social event, and it's just a time to just be together in all sense of the word. It's great.
Yeah, and you talked a little bit about kind of seeing your extracurricular friends, whether it's in clubs or activities. How do you balance all that extracurriculars and fun and academics, especially if you came in the first year?
No, totally. So, I mean, the first night or within the first couple of weeks of school, there's something called Student Activities Night when you're able to go and check out all of these extracurricular activities. And I mean, it's hard at first, I would say, but there's so many great support systems here on campus to help you really figure out how to balance your extracurricular social time with also your academics. I mean, between TA office hours and then going out with any of my Ryan friends to different trivia nights or bingo nights, I mean, you're really able to balance what things you want to do on campus, but then still be able to relax and unwind with friends as well. So speaking about dorm life, I mean, dorm life is a very, very important part of campus. I mean, you talked about Royals being the best dorm on campus.
The best.
Not sure if I agree with that, but I'm pretty sure that all resident halls would have some sort of argument about that. I mean, within Notre Dame, it's one of the best things about Notre Dame is the resident life. And one of the best things about this resident life is that you're able to have completely random roommate actually your first year. So, I mean, I've been with my random roommate since freshman year, and obviously I'm still in Ryan as well. So, are you still in Pangbourne? Was that your random?
Always still in Pangbourne, same roommate since freshman year as well.
That's amazing. And, well, so in total, there's 33 resident halls on campus, and each and every one of you could be placed into one of these randomly with your roommate. And it really is like a community that you get placed into, which is one of the best parts about it because it's almost a home away from home. And I mean, I was able to meet a ton of different students through my roommate and through the other programs that are within my dorm. And these students are from all across the country and even the world here at Notre Dame. And the resident hall is often one of the first places where students find that sense of community that is so important here on campus. This next video that we're going to talk about, or that you're actually going to see, is one of the resident halls. Ellie, this student, is going to go through a tour of her own home, Pasquarella East. Let's check it out.
Hi guys, my name is Ellie Villaruz and I'm a current sophomore studying accounting with minors in Italian and social entrepreneurship and innovation. Today I'm going to be showing you around my home under the dome, Pasquarella East Hall, and walking you through a little bit of residence life and what it's like to be a student at Notre Dame. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour of PE. We're going to start at our chapel, which each dorm has their own chapel, and we have 2 masses a week. PEs happens to be on Wednesday and Sunday. All the different dorms around campus have 2 masses a week, and a lot of them are one on Sunday and then one is during the week, and it's food themed. Really popular one is Dylan's Milkshake Mass, which is every Thursday at 10 p.m. And any Thursday at 10 p.m. you can go to Dylan and go to Mass and enjoy a milkshake, and there will be tons of people there, and the sign of peace lasts about 10 minutes. But it's a really great way to show the Notre Dame community and spirituality in the hall. Yeah, so this is PE's main living space. We've got a printer for those late night homework assignments and our sign, and then this is a pool table that is mostly used as a snack table. We don't have a basement, so all of our common spaces are on the first floor. It's 24 hours. You can find powers studying, hanging out, watching The Bachelor, making cookies, anything like that, which is really fun. And then, so this kitchen is open for all of PE to use. So this is walking down the hall, the first floor. We've got lots of study rooms around here. The laundry's back there, the family's room back there. And then each dorm has their own gym, which is really nice. And it's really nice for me because I can just come down at any time and just get a quick run in or a quick lift in, and it's right downstairs. Welcome to 6A of Pasquarella East Hall. So there are about 40 girls who live in this section, and there's 6 RAs in PE total. So our RA lives right down there. Her name's Erin. She's great, and she's a senior. Something really interesting about Notre Dame residential life is that we have freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors all living in these halls, which means you can really form those cross-grade relationships, and a freshman can be living next door to a senior. Like, we're living next door to 2 juniors, which is so much fun, and I've gotten to know a lot of the freshmen in our section. So it's not just freshman dorms at Notre Dame, it's dorms with all grades. Welcome to my room. So this is what a typical double looks like in PE, at least. In PE, we have singles, doubles, and quads, but each dorm has different types of rooms depending on the dorm you're in. Each dorm comes with a desk, a bed, some sort of wardrobe, and a sink for both of you to share. And that's just been so nice because you don't even have to leave your room to brush your teeth at night or in the morning. It's great, makes a huge difference. So yeah, this is what a double in PE looks like. So one of the main defining aspects that makes Notre Dame unique is our residential life. So the dorm communities are really your home under the dome. It's a place where you live with a bunch of other people of your same gender and you really identify. A freshman can be living next to a senior, but you're both Pyros, or you're both gentlemen if you're in St. Edward's Hall, or you're both Sentinels or if you're in Dunn Hall. So it's one of the first questions people ask when they meet you, what hall are you in? And it's just a way to really build the Notre Dame community, and it's a microcosm of the Notre Dame community. All the different dorms have their own colors, events, traditions, that kind of thing, which is really fun. So my favorite tradition from PE is our Silent Night Silent Auction, which happens in December-ish, and it's where we have an online auction all day and an event outside on the quad where people get to donate for different items for Hannah's House, which is a local women's shelter. And then additionally, as well as SNAZA, I really like the dances that we have. Both our SYR in the fall and our formal in the spring are so much fun and a way for all of us to gather together and just have a lot of fun. Okay, well, thank you so much for following me along on my talk about residential life at Notre Dame and my little mini tour of PE. And as always, go Pyros and go Irish.
It's always so great to hear about people's residential life, even if it's not Pangborn Hall. But I gotta say, community life at Notre Dame is one of the biggest reasons why I chose to come to Notre Dame. And I think it's really what's one of the biggest selling points of what makes Notre Dame so unique and makes this tight-knit family of Notre Dame students once you graduate as well. But I think a big part of what makes each hall unique is also the traditions that they build throughout the years that they've been at Residence Hall. Jessica, do you have any interesting dorm traditions that your hall has?
I mean, too many. I mean, to be honest, like, we have been established, like Ryan Hall, go brag again, since 2009. So we've had a lot of different opportunities to be able to grow the community, grow different traditions, different activities that we all do as a group. I mean, my overall favorite is probably Tuesday night FJs. So FJ stands for our resident priest name. It's Father Joe Carey. I mean, I guess there's no C, but still, FJs. And this is the night where all the Ryan girls, during different times, we all sign up on a different Excel sheet, but we go into our resident priest's kitchen, and we are able to cook baked goods with him. And every single night at around, I think, 11 o'clock, we're all in our PJs. I usually am sporting my Crocs, and we go into the kitchen, and we go and eat all of these baked goods together. And, I mean, it's just... there's nothing like it. There's fresh smelling of brownies, smelling of cookies, and obviously there's just the delicious sweets that I get to share with all my best friends.
Have to stop by sometime. That sounds great, actually.
It's open to all the dorms, so come on down from Pangborn.
Might at some point. I gotta say, I think my favorite tradition for my hall, so you may have seen on a game day if you ever stopped by, while you're walking down South Quad, you may have seen a giant banner hanging down from one of the buildings right near the Rockney Gym. And from this banner, usually we're maybe roasting the opposing team or hyping our own guys up. But we really love that tradition because we come together as a community. We go paint the banner in the back parking lot of our hall, even though one time a FedEx truck kind of ran over it. But we still hung it up by the end, right?
Yeah.
But I think another thing that makes our halls unique is every hall also has a signature event. Does Ryan Hall have a signature event as well?
Yes, so actually, Ryan Hall is known by being the most accessible dorm on campus. So, one of the near and dear groups to our hearts to help support is it's called Wheelchair Basketball, is our signature event. And it goes towards helping to raise money to get more wheelchairs for the surrounding community. So, basically, every single dorm on campus is able to send in a donation, and then they form groups of 5. And then on the bookstore basketball courts, we get a bunch of wheelchairs, and everybody spends the afternoon in a tournament style playing basketball, but in wheelchairs. So it's a really, really fun event. I mean, it's very different. I don't think any of us have really experienced playing basketball in wheelchairs, and it all goes towards a great cause. And that's probably one of the best things about the signature events that every dorm has is all of the money that gets raised goes to a different cause within the community and beyond. Is there one for Pangborn that you want to touch on?
Yeah, so we also actually have a signature event that benefits an organization in South Bend as well. So what we do, it's actually a new event this year that we're working on. It's called Notre Dame Has Talent. So it's similar to a show you may have seen on live television as well, but it's an opportunity for people of different talents to come, show off what they have, show their talents and abilities. And then we actually have a very special group of judges this year. I believe we have some of the quarterbacks from the Notre Dame football team judging.
Wow,
so
exciting.
if you want to show off a little bit in front of some of the quarterbacks, I would probably show up to our event. And we also have some very special merch we're handing out, possibly even a signed football for Marcus Freeman as well.
Wow.
Right? I know it's going to be pretty awesome.
No, that's very exciting. I'll have
if
to
Ryan
be there.
Hall wants to show up, you're
Oh,
more than
no, you
welcome
know
to.
that we'll be there. We'll have to show up in attendance.
I totally agree. And in these residence halls, I think it's also really important to touch on the community and building relationships
yeah.
within them as well. And we actually just had a question come in that's asking, how do you find friends at Notre Dame? Jessica, do you have any tips for doing this?
No, yeah, of course. I mean, other than your dorm, which I mean, there's so many different events, so many different activities that you're able to do to really connect with the different girls or boys that are in your dorm. But I mean, there's other ways that you can connect with people outside of your dorm as well, like through your classes. I mean, my favorite tradition on the first day of classes is look to the person next to me and say, "Hey, give me your number. I got to form a study group or something." Or even in your clubs. I mean, I'm involved in an improv group on campus and like many different other ones, which I'm sure we'll end up talking a little bit about later. But those are where I found some of my closest friends. And it's really easy just to be able to connect with all the people at Notre Dame because I feel like they do a pretty good job of finding people that are nice, kind, happy people that really want to connect. I mean, what has your experience been like making friends here at Notre Dame?
Yeah, I would say I was kind of worried coming in as a student who didn't have
Yeah.
anyone from my high school coming here. I didn't really know anyone else in the higher grade levels either. But it was really incredible how willing people are just to go out of their comfort zone and just talk with you.
Yeah.
I know in several of my classes, there's been either upperclassmen or people I've just never even met. And they just come sit next to you and they're so welcoming. It's almost creepy to a degree how much they want to know you. But it's that Notre Dame spirit
Yeah,
that
no,
really
totally.
draws you in and makes it this welcoming community as well. And it looks like we have another question that came in. It's, what are some of the most important clubs on campus and how do I get involved? I know you touched a little bit earlier on the student activities night, but what clubs and activities are you involved in as well?
Yeah, so I'm involved in the Humor Artists, which is an improv group on campus. I mean, it's just a bunch of ragtag kids getting together and just pretending to put on scenes of random situations. I mean, they're all great. It's a really great way to go and connect with different people from different dorms and even different grade levels as well. Last year, I had the honor of being the senator for Ryan Hall. So that was a little bit of student gov that I was able to participate in, which I had been involved in my high school. So it was really great because a lot of the clubs that I was involved in high school, I could kind of transfer here into Notre Dame because, I mean, we have almost 400 clubs on campus, which is mind-blowing, but it's amazing because there's just so many different opportunities to be involved in different types of clubs that maybe you weren't involved in before. I mean, do you want to speak more about like the student activities night and then any clubs that you're involved in?
Yeah, I would say one word of warning when you go to student activities night. It's okay that you sign up for maybe 18 or 20 different clubs.
This is true.
By the end of it, you'll be signed up for all of them, but you do not have to commit to any of them.
Yeah.
But you'll get all these emails, and then you'll slowly figure out this is what I want to do with my time at Notre Dame. But I think one of my favorite clubs that I'm a part of here here at Notre Dame is actually the Compassionate Care and Medicine Club.
Yeah.
So this allows students who are interested in furthering their major or their career in studying medicine to actually learn more about how do I be compassionate in medicine, how do I put this at the center of what I do as caring for others, and how do I root myself in compassion when helping others once I move away from Notre Dame. And I think this really speaks to the character of Notre Dame, that we're not just going to cultivate a student in the mind, we also want to cultivate their heart. So I
Yeah.
think outside of the classroom, these clubs are a really, really great opportunity to grow the full person at Notre Dame as well. And beyond that, just growing the full person, I know we talked about that a little bit, but faith life is a huge part of who we are at Notre Dame. And whether it's the dorm chapels or the Basilica, participating in any one of our faith opportunities here on campus is very, very accessible. And you can do it through campus ministry or the Center for Social Concerns. And students are encouraged to cultivate their faith no matter what faith background they're from. And one of the most special places on campus where students find comfort and have a moment of reflection is actually at the Basilica located at the heart of campus. And now we're going to see a little bit more about what that Basilica looks like and what students do there as well.
What's up? My name is Johnny, and I'm here today to show you the Basilica of the Sacred Heart, built in 1871 and dedicated as a minor basilica in 1992. This is one of the pivotal places here on campus. Now, before we go in, I want to take a look around the area. If you look up, you'll notice that this building is really tall, 230 feet to be exact, and it's the tallest and will be the tallest building here on campus. Here on campus, there's two other main tall buildings, which would be the main building, which is to my left, and then the library, which is further down the way. It's in this order because here at Notre Dame, we want to prioritize faith, then family, then academics. Also, if you look up, you might notice that this building also functions as a bell tower. Now, these bells may be some of the oldest bells in North America, but they still work every day. They keep time by ringing every 15 minutes. They ring before and after Mass, and they play the alma mater at 9 a.m. and at the end of the night to signify that the day is done. Now, here the Basilica is on God Quad, and it's picturesque, and it really fits into the environment. So let's take a look inside and see what's here. Before we head in, you might ask the question, what does faith mean to us here at Notre Dame? It's something that's really important. Notre Dame was founded in 1842 by a brother of the Holy Cross, and the Holy Cross priests are still present here on campus to this day. Now, this is one chapel here, but there's chapels in every single dorm, and there's over 160 masses practiced every single week, which just goes to show how important faith is here at Notre Dame. As we open up these big wooden doors, I do want to say that as we enter, this is a beautiful place, but it's also a place of worship for a lot of people here on campus. There's daily masses here twice a day, Monday through Friday, also confession twice a day, Monday through Friday, and then there's multiple mass times here on the weekend, including both in English and in Spanish. So as we walk in here, one of the things you'll notice along the edge is the beautiful stained glass. This is actually the oldest collection of 19th century French stained glass in the world. And as we come in, we're going to see, as you look up, I know I'm having you look up a lot today, but this is a beautiful place as you look up. Luigi Gregori was the artist here. He also worked at the Vatican, and he came here in the 1800s and said to help paint the entire ceiling here. So everything is authentic and it is real. All right, I'm here back at the Ladies' Chapel in the back, and during Sunday Mass, this is considered overflow seating, but before every football game, this is actually where the football team has Mass before they go over to the stadium. Now, this is a beautiful area, and once again, if you look up, you'll see beautiful murals and paintings all along the ceiling here. And as we make our way back, one of the things you're going to see behind me is the tabernacle, and this beautiful tabernacle was purchased by Father Soren himself at the World's Fair in Philadelphia. All right, we're about out of time today, but I did want to stop and take one last look at something important here. This is the World War I Memorial, and this is where you see the famous God Country Notre Dame. You might see that on a shirt at the bookstore, but this is something really important to us here at Notre Dame, and this is what I wanted to leave you off with. There's a lot of things we didn't get to see today, so I hope that you still check out the Basilica of the Sacred Heart at some point. Thanks for watching.
The Basilica is absolutely stunning. I mean, I just can never get used to it. The stained glass windows, the high ceilings, it's just all so amazing. And I mean, Basilica is definitely a place on campus that people go to gather, to worship, to like hear about God, to go to Mass, of course. And even within our own dorm communities, there's chapels within every single dorm. And I know that during freshman year, that was a big part of how much I enjoyed like my dorm and being able to go to just the chapel just to relax and just be in like a space that was open and wonderful. I don't know about you, but what has been your experience with either the Basilica, like chapels? How about that?
Yeah, you've opened a can of worms here. So I really love the Basilica here in Notre Dame. So I've actually had the opportunity to sing with the folk choir at Notre Dame every Sunday as well. And then, are you involved with any faith groups on campus as well?
Yeah, I am. So actually, I'm not Catholic. I mean, I grew up non-denominational Christian. So I've been able to get involved in ISI, which stands for Iron Sharpens Iron. And this was just another group. I was walking around the student activities like in the stadium, and I was talking to a lot of different clubs, a lot of different groups, and I was able to talk to some of the leaders of Iron Sharpens Iron. And it's a Christian-based group where we all gather on Thursday nights in the Colin Moore Center, and I mean, we just get to come together and worship. We worship, there's student talks, there's different Bible groups, small groups. It's been a really great outlet for my faith personally, just because, I mean, Notre Dame Catholic School can be a little overwhelming at first, but I mean, everybody is so welcoming and and the dorms are so welcoming of all the different faiths, and just there's so many different outlets that you're able to have here, so it really is a great place to grow in your faith.
Yeah, and I gotta say, especially with Faith Life, it's so accommodating to people of all different faith backgrounds.
Totally.
And it's incredible how much our faith is actually able to help us center our service in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So through campus ministry with folk choir, we're actually able to go sing in the South Bend community as well for groups
Wow, that's
who may want to
amazing.
sing, whether it's at the Holy Cross Seminary or somewhere else. But I've also had the opportunity with folk choir to sing every Sunday during Mass as one of the principal liturgical choirs. And this is a great way as students for us to use our gifts through service as well. And a lot of times when you think of service, you think of getting out there in the mud or really getting physical, doing something.
Yeah.
But it's incredible as Notre Dame students that every single person who's here has a very specific set of talents and a very special skill set that makes them special and unique at Notre Dame. And I think it's incredible how many opportunities exist for us through service to show off our talents and gifts as well.
I totally agree. One of my best friends, she's been telling everybody in our dorm about something called Slice of Life. And it's basically when students are able to go into the local school system and basically, I think it's like first graders or second graders, and you help tutor them in just basic math, basic reading, or you just spend time with them during recess. And I mean, it's just a great opportunity to get out into the South Bend community, outside of the Notre Dame bubble, if you will, and just be able to do that service that Notre Dame really encourages. And I mean, we've talked a lot about developing the whole person here, and of course, faith and service is a huge part of that, but the mind is as well. I mean, I would like to think that Notre Dame is very strong academically, and it's one of the reasons I don't want to speak for you, but probably you chose Notre Dame was for the academics. And students here are obviously very smart, and they love to dive deep into a wide variety of different things. For example, 80% of the students participate in research or some sort of internship while they're at Notre Dame. And it's both on campus at Notre Dame, but also outside as well. We have a friend, Matt, who's going to show you Jordan Hall of Science and talk a little bit about some of the really cool research that he's been doing here at Notre Dame during his undergrad. Come on, let's check it out.
Hi Notre Dame, I'm Matt Kianfor. I'm a senior here. I did live at Keaton Hall and now I'm off campus. I'm a science computing major with minors in European Studies, Poverty Studies, and welcome to Jordan Hall of Science. Come in and I'll show you around. Welcome inside Jordan Hall. Over here, there's a great place for students to study. And on the first floor is where a lot of the big lecture classes are held. So I've had my Intro to Neuroscience classes here, chemistry, biology sequences, and even some of my fun electives. And welcome to the upper floors of Jordan Hall. We have all the different laboratory spaces here for all the different departments. I've taken biolabs, chem labs, genetics labs. We have neuroscience labs, developmental biology labs, and labs for each department here in the College of Science. It's been a wonderful opportunity to be able to get to really be hands-on to supplement the information I've been learning in my lecture classes. Even since my first semester here on campus, it's been really easy to get involved in research, especially in the College of Science's intro biology sequence. We work with your peers, run experiments, and are able to write a paper and present it to the College of Science at the end of the year. As early as my sophomore year too, I worked as a research assistant looking at the neuroscience of psychedelics and trauma response to natural events. The last few years, I've spent most of my time working as a research assistant for the Department of Anthropology, looking at obstetric violence, the lived experience of Latinx mothers here in South Bend, their conceptions of motherhood, and their perceived psychological stress. I also have had the opportunity to do research abroad as well. So my sophomore year, through the Nativic Institute for European Studies, I was afforded an independent research grant to go to Barcelona to look at the intersection between the healthcare system and also the subway transportation system, really shedding light on questions of access, healthcare disparities, and how patients in Spain move through the healthcare system. As I go into medical school in the future, which I'm very excited for, the concept of research here at Notre Dame has really showed me that it's not just bench science, working, creating compounds and things like that, but there's definitely a really big societal implication to be a force for good through your research. That's something I take with me as I graduate this spring.
Yeah, I think research in Notre Dame is such a huge part of what it means to be a Notre Dame student. I mean, I believe over 70% of students during their time at Notre Dame will engage in internships or research. Have you engaged in any research or internships here at Notre Dame as well?
So actually, I think my internship came almost from Notre Dame. So every single year in the fall and in the spring semester, there is a career fair that happens in our Duncan Student Center in the Danke Ballroom. And this is just an opportunity for you to connect with so many different professionals in the field. I'm a business major, so recruiting is pretty early to getting those internships. And I mean, I went sophomore year to my career fair, and I was able to talk to Deloitte, which is a pretty big business firm within the U.S. And I don't think if I would have talked to that professional in that moment, I would have been encouraged to apply and take an interview, and I wouldn't have gotten my internship that I'll be having this summer in Charlotte, North Carolina. So it's like, there's just so many different connections through Notre Dame that they give you a lot of great opportunities in order to be able to take advantage of being able to get to know different people and network and just a variety of different connections. Have you been able to do any sort of research or an internship? How about you?
Yeah, for sure. After my first year at Notre Dame, I was actually able to work with the Center for Career Development over in Duncan Student Center. And I actually was able to get an internship over the summer in downtown Detroit as a clinical research assistant, full-time, paid. So, we were doing pretty well. And they helped me with getting headshots, with how to do interviews, how to reform my resume. So they were incredibly helpful in helping me kind of jumpstart my career already as I pursue, do I want to go into medicine? Do I want to go into research? They're extremely helpful throughout that process as well. But even if you're considering what kind of route you want to go into, there's so many different ways to pursue, whether you want to go into the College of Science or Arts and Letters. And it kind of makes you wonder as you come in as a first-year student, you don't want to be committed to one thing. So is it easy to change your major once you're already here?
I mean, so personally, I've changed my major 4 times.
Yeah.
I mean, so I came in as a political science major. I really want to go to law school. It's been one of my my goals, my dreams. So when I came in as a poli-sci major, I really wanted to figure out and discern whether I wanted to continue down this path of majoring in political science. And there was just so many helpful advisors that I could talk to, upperclassmen, like almost mentors that I could speak with about their experience and what type of things I could expect within the degree. And I mean, after the end of my freshman year, I decided, okay, I really love Spanish. I really love business. So I picked up a business major. Then I applied to the business school, got into the business school, and then picked up a business major. So it's very easy to be able to switch back and forth. It's very easy to talk to different advisors, different upperclassmen. I mean, everybody just really wants you to succeed here. So it just makes it easy. Has anybody ever switched majors? Have you talked to? I don't know.
Yeah, so I personally have not switched my major. I came in biochemistry, was super into it.
Nice.
But I have met someone here who has beat you for how many times they've switched their major.
How?
They've actually switched it a total of 6 times since they've been
Wow,
here.
that's probably the highest I've heard.
Right? But with the support of their first-year advisor and the really great advising department here at Notre Dame, they're actually able to help keep you on track to graduate in 4 years still and pursue what you want to do. And I know it can kind of be scary, like I need to commit to this one thing, but they really help you pursue your passions and whatever you want to do at Notre Dame. So not to beat you with 4, but 6 was the highest I've heard so far.
Well, so I see another question coming in right now of when do I start registering for classes? Do you have any type of tips or tricks for registering for our Notre Dame classes?
Yeah, so registering for Notre Dame classes, it seems daunting at first, but it's actually really easy to adapt to these as well. So over the summer with your first year advisor, they'll actually reach out to you, walk you through a step-by-step process and how it works, and they'll meet with you over Zoom to help you figure out this is the software we'll use, this is the classes you need to take, and they're extremely helpful in guiding you through that process. And then beyond that, you'll have an advisor almost every single year for your specific major, and they'll walk you through the process. So right now, my advisor's been extremely helpful in helping me figure out what classes should I take, what's a good way to line them up. So the advising department's been extremely helpful. I don't know if you've had the same situation as well.
Oh, 100% and a million times over. I mean, I feel like I'm almost on a first name basis with my academic advisor with the amount of time that I go in and talk to her, whether it's in person, in Zoom. I mean, it's just really easy to connect with them and talk to them. And I mean, they're so knowledgeable that they're able to answer any and all of my questions. It's great.
That's awesome to hear. And as we talk about some of the resources available at Notre Dame, Matt talked about some of the really cool research he did and loads of students that do all kinds of research here at Notre Dame. Over a third of students conduct research here, and there are so many resources available to fund students overall. And Notre Dame is extremely fortunate in that students are very well supported in all of their endeavors. And one of the brand new resources is the DEI Center in the LaFortune Student Center right in the heart of campus, which I know is a great study spot, a great place for many groups, and we're going to learn a little bit more about it right now.
Hello everyone, my name is Luzolo. I'm a current senior at the University of Notre Dame studying political science with supplementaries in ACMS and Africana Studies. I'm originally from Chicago, but on campus I live with the beautiful women of Farley Hall. So this is LaFortune Student Center. It's one of the student centers here on campus. LaFortune is a very important place on campus for students. There's a lot of restaurants, a few offices. People come here to like study and hang out. So I'm gonna take you inside and we're gonna see. Have fun. So this is the entrance for the second floor of LaFon, which is now the Center for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. It's brand new, it just opened last semester, and we're just gonna take you there. So this is the grand steps. It's very cool, there's outlets everywhere. We have like little slogans and mottos that Notre Dame has, like what's your next step is a big one for Walk the Walk Week. And yeah, I actually went to the grand opening, and it was very cool just to see everyone welcome the center and be very excited about this new chapter for Notre Dame. And this is the big sign, the big grand entrance for the Center of DEI. I actually work here as a part of MSPS, which I could show you their office later, but I'm always on this floor and it's very important to me just because I have so many friends that are always here. I work here, so obviously I'm here a lot. And I also work in student government, so LaFun in general is just like my place because I'm always here for different commitments that I'm in. But yeah, I love hanging out. We have a bunch of hangouts here. We do mug events. We've had like mug cakes, mug pizza, karaoke, and all kinds of stuff. So that's been really fun. So now we're going to show you some of the offices that are on this floor. So the Center for DEI is home to the Office of Student Enrichment, the Gender Relations Center, and the Multicultural Student Programs and Services. So here is the GRC. So the GRC is home to LGBTQ students on campus, and they do a lot of work with Women's History Month and also just women initiatives on campus. So they're a great resource that people have that are here. And then right next to them, we have the Office of Student Enrichment, and the Office of Student Enrichment is also great. They host a lot of programming like the GRC, but specifically for low-income first-generation students. So they're also a great resource to look into. They have different programs like the Fighting Irish Scholars Program, which I'm also a part of. Again, this floor, I'm always here. So yeah, and now we're gonna go over and check out MSPS. So this is MSPS, Multicultural Student Programs and Services. This is where I work as a senior fellow, so I'm here very often. And they help students of color, but then also students from different cultural backgrounds on campus. They also host a lot of programming, but most of their work is with helping students, providing resources for them through the Building Bridges program, but then also through granting different multicultural clubs funding if they ever want some programming to put on and they need a little help. And this is Prism ND's student space. So they're a student organization that's under the GRC, which you saw earlier. And they're really great because they help with LGBTQ students on campus. So they host different hangouts, office hours, but then also different programming for our LGBTQ student and allies on campus. So this is the community kitchen. A lot of different organizations and multicultural clubs on campus love to give food for different events. So we wanted, when they created the center, they wanted to have a kitchen where students can kind of come and give out this food.
We are very happy to have this new Center for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion on campus. So with these new renovations, it provides LGBTQ students, students of color, multicultural students, first-generation students, low-income students to come to a space with the offices that are here to serve them and be here for them, but then also to be with and see other students that look like them or who are like them. So it's a very nice space to be, and it's a nice place to hang out, for clubs to plan events, for students to study together, for friends to come meet up, for us to have karaoke nights, and just to have fun. So it's very nice to have this space for that.
So like I mentioned earlier, I was abroad last semester. So when I came back, I was shocked to see how much La Fortune Center had changed. I mean, when I first walked in, it was amazing just to see the different signage, the different setup of the entire like lobby area. I had the opportunity to go and work with some of my multicultural groups like in these spaces, and they're really great places for students to not only study but also meet up and chat and just be a space for the students to enjoy. I don't know if you've ever had any experience within the DEI building.
Yeah, so I've actually had a great time being in the fun for the Student Center. It's really a great opportunity, a great place to study. I was actually there for almost 3 hours earlier today, so I know it quite well. But I really, really love La Fortune, and I think it's a really great testament to the development that they're actually having at Notre Dame overall, whether it's investing in the student experience, renovating different dorm halls as well. They're really investing in the student experience to make it as great for every person who walks through Notre Dame's doors as well. Have you had any other experiences at La Fortune as well?
I mean, other than running to the huddle, like our convenient market on campus at 2 a.m. to get some Powerade or to get some gummy bears. I mean, there's like so many different like programs within the DEI section of LaFun, like the gender relations group, the multicultural groups, and those are just all resources to the students. So it's amazing that not only is Notre Dame developing the different types of buildings, but they're also like renovating the programs and really instilling like again the sense of community that we keep harping on within the space and for the students. And it looks like we have one more question for today. Can you talk about support students receive while on campus, both in and out of the classroom? Danny, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, for sure. I think the support students receive here on campus is really one of a kind. Whether it's inside your own residential halls, your hall staff is constantly there for you, with it being people who have already lived in your residential hall or hall staff that are there year-round, year after year. They're a very supportive community that are always going to have an open door or willing to listen to whatever you have to say. But outside of that, I would also say that the University Counseling Center, or UHS University Health Services, are very helpful for students as they navigate their first year. Whether it's their first time being sick away from home, it's great figuring out what medicine you might need to buy or how to take care of yourself. And they're always a great resource here at Notre Dame. Do you have any experiences with how you were supported as well?
Well, I mean, I can't agree more with the dorm systems. I mean, not only are your closest friends all within the dorm with you to be able to help, but then also every dorm has a resident priest within the dorm. So FJ's, Father Joe Carey, is within my dorm. And even though I'm not Catholic and I wasn't really used to interacting with a priest, he always was such a source of calmness for me, of being able to be a support for me, whether I need to talk about homesickness or being worried about classes. He was just a great resource. Or even the RAs like within the dorms or your rector. There's just so many people within the dorm system that is there and wants to support you. And with more about like the overall outside of the dorm community, there's also the Wellness Center. I don't know if you've been able to use any of their services. Just yesterday, they had a knit and stitch where I was able to learn how to crochet and also learn how to knit. So you are able to just have a really great different outlets of relief and just relaxation and just being able to take that mental health break that you may need from academics or even social situations. So it's a great place to be.
I totally agree. Maybe this weekend I'll have to go knit. That might be a nice way to wrap up everything after a long week here.
We should go together.
I totally agree.
So with that, I think that we're going to move out of just this DEI section. Do you have any sort of advice for our students that you might want to talk about?
Yeah, I think advice for any student coming to Notre Dame, I know it's a really stressful process as you discern what do you want to do at Notre Dame, what kind of school do you want to have as you discern what school to attend for the next 4 years. But I would really encourage you to lean into Notre Dame and think, at Notre Dame, I don't just want to cultivate my mind, I want to cultivate my heart too. And I think that's the greatest resource of Notre Dame. Whether the people, the hall staff, or the academics, everywhere you go, they're really trying to form you into this great person as you leave Notre Dame and impact the world as well. Do you have any advice you want to give to students?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I feel like when I was a freshman, my biggest weight on my shoulders was, oh my gosh, I'm picking like my next place for 4 years. Like, who am I going to be friends with? Like, where am I going to go? What's going to be my best experience? And I mean, my parents were really great. They said, Jessica, calm down and really discern, like you will have a feeling. I promise you, you will have a feeling when you visit the campus. You will have a feeling when you talk to the people and you're just going to, it's crazy, but you are going to know. And you're going to be able to think about all the different experiences that you could have, that you will have. And once you choose that school, just lean into it and just go. Don't look back. There is no rearview mirror here. And just really dive into the culture that you would be able to be a part of.
I totally agree with you. I think this is great advice for any student kind of discerning what their process is going to look like here at Notre Dame. And as we reach the end of our rally here tonight, I want to thank each of you for joining us, and we really hope to see you on campus for one of our admitted student days as well.
Yeah, definitely. It should be a really great time. And I also want to say, don't forget to follow any of our social media pages. They're the best way to stay connected with Notre Dame and with just knowing what's been going on around campus. So really, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. We had a blast getting to talk to you and just telling you about the campus we love so much.
So thank you so much and have a great night.
Have a good one.